G'day, Effie. How you going?
What are you doing? Forever. I'm gonna have to get the paternal bug zapper on soon. The mozzies are getting bad. Mozzies are getting real bad around here. They're like horses with wings.
Yeah. Oh, well, the first lot of trainees have been sent out from Tooradin.
We're being inundated by fruit flies. I hate them. They're so small. They're just a speck flying through it bothers me because I don't know. I can't see them half the time because they're too small.
Yep. Yeah, we're in the process. South Australia's in the process at the moment of trying to eradicate the little buggers. They've just managed to get across the border. We've had a good campaign of everyone getting everyone that's come across the border to put their bags of fruit into bins before they come across the borders, and obviously some people haven't been doing that.
Well, you're probably too young to remember, but when you were crossing the borders once, like particularly into New South Wales and Victoria, they actually had checking stations you had to stop, and like they've still got in Western Australia.
Yeah, I've seen documentaries with them in them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to have to stop and they'd search your car and everything.
Yep. Kind of where the rest stops kind of came from, wasn't it? Was those bits left over?
No, not really. They were always there, but the checking stations, well, I think the one at Albury has actually been converted into like a craft village thing.
Yeah. What's going on, Effie?
She said everything's good. So I found out something interesting last night.
Uh-oh. I didn't do it.
No. The variable speed on some lathes interferes with the Wi-Fi signal.
Huh?
Yeah.
I've heard that too.
Sorry?
I've heard that too. Basically, where it seems to come from is a lot of the controllers that we have that give us three-phase from single-phase.
Yeah.
They're in plastic boxes.
No, they come
No
from
metal
three-phase.
shielding.
They convert single phase into into variable speed. They have to. Yeah, I know what you mean anyway, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a three-phase motor.
Yeah, that's right. But no, we were playing around. A friend and I were playing around last night, and every time he wound the variable speed up on his lathe, the signal would drop out.
You're allowed to go out, are you?
Sorry?
You're allowed to go out, are you?
No, I was sitting here.
Oh.
It was a few thousand kilometres away.
That's a lot closer than I am to you.
Yeah, well, that's right.
This world, it's just amazing to me, the stuff that we take for granted and our kids take for granted and grandkids are dreaming of what's going to happen that we can't even begin to conceive.
Yep.
They've got a computer game that one of the kids there has. You actually wear a visor and you can see each other as you're playing. Well, typically you're only playing against a game, but now with the latest software update and some other, you actually see your opponent in whatever character they're supposed to be. It could be a big dragon or whatever character that they want to be. But as they move their arms, it moves. So it's really interesting. I just couldn't believe it. I got a chance the other day to put one of the visors on, and you got these hand paddles you use so it knows where you're moving there, and it knows when you're walking, and you're actually in that world playing the game.
Virtual reality.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but I think that's part of the reason why kids are possibly immune to some emotions and that. It's hard for me to explain what I mean, but like if they hit somebody or they get hit, they don't feel the pain.
Yeah, they're desensitized.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one to check out too, Robbo. It's called Augmented Reality.
Oh yeah.
That one, it's so realistic. You can kind of get lost and not realise you're still in it.
Yeah. Like the first real one of those that I had to go at was actually in Adelaide down in Rundle Street.
Yeah.
Which they had the rally cars.
Yep.
And the seat and everything actually moved.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you felt like you're in the seat.
Yes.
And I thought, yeah, this is fantastic. I actually won $100 down there. I was standing in the doorway watching them, because I had them up the front.
Yeah.
And one of the blokes said, oh, do you want to go, do you? And I said, oh, yeah, no, I'll just watch for a while. Anyway, all these blokes said, oh, yeah, what would you know? Anyway, I got in one and I used to drive rally cars, so it wasn't quite the feeling. I lost the first one, but after that I cleaned them all up.
Yep. Once you got the feel of it.
Yep. Because that was the only thing they couldn't do was get the feeling of your brake. Your braking and acceleration.
Yeah. Now you kind of remind me of my cousin sometimes. He can jump into any racing game or anything like that and just master it within seconds or minutes and be annihilating people and people scratching their heads like, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was no good with the keyboard type racing games. My fingers aren't fast enough, but in those, of course, you've got the steering wheel and the brake and the clutch and everything,
Yeah, that's what he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a realistic. He's paid like nearly $5,000 for his setup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I looked at that for the kids here some time ago, but I thought, well, hopefully before I kick the bucket, it'll come down in price because it'll be mass manufacturing.
Well, he plays a game called iRacing.
iRacing, yeah.
Yeah. Now that's a lot of professional NASCAR drivers practice on it because the tracks are all laser scanned and the cars are all laser scanned. So everything's like the bump that's on the real track is on the game and stuff like that. And
yeah, I've seen those years ago. Oh, it's probably been 10, 12 years ago. I was with a group that was at Disney. And they had stuff like that there then at the time, but it was very limited to how many people could do it. And now they actually have centers. There's a couple of them here in the Detroit area and one, I think, in Ann Arbor that have like 8 or 9 people can play. But it's not cheap.
Well, that's how a couple of the rounds of the Formula One were done, I think, over the last 12 months. Because of COVID, they actually did it on the virtual tracks.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, they can pre-drive the race before they even get there now. No worry about little. They can pre-drive the race before they get there.
Yeah.
Like a flight simulator,
Uh-huh. Yeah, don't go and look at iRacing, Robbo, because I got this strange feeling you'd actually enjoy it. It's a quite expensive game to play, to be honest, because you got to pay for each car and.
No, it doesn't interest me really. But is it as good as sex? That's what I was going to say.
It's probably better, to be honest. They've got a. If I'll try and find the company, but there's actually a Melbourne-based company that has full-blown racing simulators set up. Oh, he's.
Going early today.
Well, I'll tell you, the simulator that about 6 years ago that I saw was for the big international race that you guys hold in Australia for solar cars, where all the different universities around the world submit
Yeah,
solar
the
cars.
one from Adelaide, Alice Springs to Adelaide.
Yeah. And they have that on as a computer game. With all the climate and the winds and all, now to be able to train the kids what they could possibly expect. And it also, depending upon the wind, puts the appropriate drag in the car so they can say, I need more of this, or we need to beef this up. They're doing that type of stuff. And I thought that was really interesting. They had that on our public TV station here where the Ford Motor Company donated it for like $500,000, the simulator. But they're also one of the sponsors for the race for the University of Ann Arbor.
Yep.
Where's my medicine?
Still in the process.
What?
Tell you what, Jay, that's handy having the screen and everything above you there like that. At least you just have to reach up and don't have to walk across the whole workshop. Not that it takes long to walk across your workshop, but
So what you been up to today, Robo?
it's bill paying day here today. 15th, 16th of the month is always bill paying day. And I've been fiddle farting around out in the workshop as well, doing some little bits and pieces.
Yeah, I was out today for a few hours doing some stuff.
G'day, Sid.
Yeah, hi Sid. Yeah, I was busy turning out these little glasses today.
Oh, yeah, chalices.
Yeah, I haven't got the bottom off of them yet because I'm gonna have to do some other work on them. But I found it interesting because I like keeping some of the bark. This is that wood that I've been playing with. I've got the black walnut, and
Oh, yeah.
that's, as you can tell, that's the camber layer.
Yeah.
And I like it, and I think I wanted to see if I could keep it dead center to the bottom as part of it here. I'm going to cut this off tomorrow and a little deep hollow out the middle so it won't rock on it. But I did 10 of these today from a branch. And it's not easy making them look the same. I actually did 13. But 10 of them, at least you can put them in a line and they look like they were all, but I didn't want to make it look as if they were machine manufactured, so they make them all perfect. They're all a little bit different. And you wouldn't know that they're different if they weren't next to each other. But I've got a need person asked me if I could do something like this for them, and now I know I can. I just because it's greenwood. Well, not really green. It's probably 10 months old.
Oh yeah. Hello, who knocked something over?
Oh, that's the dog here.
Oh yeah.
Go lay down. He had to come in to see if I had any treats for him.
Oh, naturally.
And he was, I don't know, sleeping or whatever, but just like humans, the dog's hearing, I have found it's still fully functioned while they're asleep, but their brain pays more attention to what they hear when they sleep than humans seem to. Well, Sid, what have you been up to today? You just jumped in. Might just, well, what were you up to?
He's probably at work.
Uh,
Did you look at those photos, Robbo?
Sorry?
Did you look at those photos?
Which photos?
Sid's just put up some photos.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say American oak, Sid.
I sort of tend to stay in the chat rather than or in the StreamYard. I'll have a look.
oh, did you get your files erased?
Yeah, but because I don't actually have a paid account, I've only got the free one. It doesn't actually get taken down in numbers.
Oh, so that's a glitch they've got.
Most probably a deliberate one to make you pay more.
No, why? The bills, the free account's still free. But
Yeah, but I
sent
sent them an email. I sent them an email, and that's what they told me. They told me it's because I'm on the free account.
Yeah, that doesn't have the authority to take down files. It's a glitch in the software. It should force either that or give you like 10 days warning before they erase them themselves.
Yep.
Right, Sid, did it have a smell when you were turning it? Oak has a distinctive smell. And I reckon Jay's probably right. It's probably oak. Whether it's American or English, I don't know, but oak definitely has its own smell when you're turning it. As soon as you smell it, you know it.
It just looks a very similar wood to the American oak that Sid gave me a while ago.
Yeah, well, American oak and English oak are very, very similar.
Yep.
With their Medelry rays and everything in it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just experimenting with a cheaper oil.
Oh yeah.
A cheaper oil beeswax mix, just to see if it works, what it works like, etc., etc.
So that. But Sid, don't get parochial, just put oak on it.
put A oak on mine and we thought it was Australian oak to begin with, but it wasn't.
No, we don't have any real true oak trees out here.
Yeah.
Except English ones. Yeah. I'd say that'd be a good guess then, Sid.
But the interesting thing with, like a lot of the trees that we have, oak's one. Willow is a big problem with. You can't call them a tree because they're a bush, but the fact that the soil they grow in and how close they are to salt water changes sometimes the wood. So you can look at it, and there's some really good professors here. One that does a lot of stuff with the American Association of Woodturners, and he's a college professor on it. And he can look at a piece of wood and tell you what it is and what strain it's from, and sometimes whether it was in the tree grew in the south near salt water, or up around Michigan where it's totally covered with fresh water. But and sometimes you look at the wood and you'd swear they're two different species, but they're not. It's just the soil, the contents of the soil, and the type of water it's given. And with pine, they even have one, it's called Piranha pine. I think that's really hilarious. He can look at it and tell you what side the mountain it grew on.
Yeah, I had a mate like that. There's a sawmiller. And he could just about tell you what region the tree came from.
Yeah. Well, it was once he explained by knowing what side the mountain it came from is by how close the grain is together on one side or the other. Whether it's on the windward or the leeward side.
It reminds me of a joke, but I can't say it on there while we're live.
I'll put you on mute and we'll see if people can lip read, eh?
Yes, Sid, I have heard that. I've got some olive wood from the Holy Lands that I've been saving to turn a couple of very special things for, well, my brother doesn't watch this, but the urns for him and his wife, because they, being pastors, they'd been many times. And they brought me back wood years and years and years ago before there was a big restriction from that part of the world to bring wood in.
G'day, Rex.
So, hey, on Rex.
That's a wood that you can't get anymore here except in pin blank style.
Master Robbo now, what are you sucking up for?
Aha, he's a master at what he does. Hi, Rex.
What's Rex sucking up for?
G'day, Chris. Jeez, they're coming in out of the woodwork now.
Yeah.
How you going, Chris? Take that.
Yeah, I won't be on this Saturday, Rex. It's a virtual crafts festival, so I don't want to interfere with that.
Yeah, and this Sunday is our club meeting, and it's going to be online again
Yeah.
at our new center, a new site. I got a ride out there, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the Zoom meeting goes from there.
Yeah,
Or how it doesn't.
Yeah, well,
well, it's going to take some practice and where to put cameras and being able to have a portable camera,
Yep.
feed in so you can be
Yep.
part of the coffee break, and talk
Yep.
to people there with a monitor. It's going to take the creativity of some good teenagers because they're used to it in gaming all the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad about that, Rex, that you're enjoying them.
Trust Neil to oppose everything we've said about the wood and say something completely different.
Well, the matter of fact, Neil would be the one person that really does know.
Nah, sorry, I already guessed it. Sorry, Neil, we've already guessed it. Bad luck.
Hooah.
How you going?
No worries. What you talking about? The timber.
Yeah.
So what did you guess it as?
Oak. American oak, maybe, or English oak.
Oh, okay. Not on the straw. I'm assuming it's Australian tree.
No. It came out on a case tractor pallet from America. So
Ah, yeah. Okay. It won't be she oak then.
no.
Yeah.
Yes, Rex. Dr. Bob can answer your question better than me. Rex wants to know, can he see the meeting too?
Oh, yes. Anybody's welcome to any of our meetings. Other than you have to be a member to participate when we have paid demonstrators. And whether it be just a meeting that we, be we had a picnic and we had a couple people at our picnic out there broadcasting live.
Take that.
Let me go grab the information on the post and throw it up here so you can get it.
He's in the group, Bob, so you can just get it from there if you want to put it in there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I don't mind you putting it in the chat. It doesn't bother me.
Well, I always use a nitrocellulose lacquer, Rex, but any oil or anything, but you've got to be careful with some camphors because oil really darkens them up. Rex has asked a question. I'm working on camphor with chatoyance. What is the best finish for it?
Good old lacquer.
Yep. Yeah, if it don't come out of a gun, it don't get done. I'd use Russens or Watco, Danish oil.
Did you get your wood shopping done, Neil?
Wood shopping. No, I was picking up timber yesterday and picking up an oval casting mold thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was talking to Robbo this morning. There was a whole heap of shit on the sidewalk near the house where I had to pick up the mould from. And I was looking at the chairs and they're all Northern Silky Oak. So I threw them in the back of the ute. The chairs themselves are stuffed. obviously starting to fall apart ages ago, and someone's had a go at them with nails. So I'm just going to cut the joints all off and then keep the timber so I can use it on boxes, pens, whatever.
Yep.
It's getting bloody hard to get northern silky oak.
Why? Not allowed to chop it down anymore?
Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a rainforest tree, and
Okay.
it only comes from far north Queensland.
Yep.
So it's not around here at all. You only get the southern silky here, which
Yep.
you get bloody everywhere now. But the northern silky, because it's an outdoor timber. They used to build house, bloody the frames around the windows were out of silky oak, cupboards were out of silky oak,
Yep.
door jams were out of silky oak, and they basically just, I like the red cedars, harvest it till there's stuff all left.
Yep.
It's just and there's just so many cupboards and chairs around out of it. People are just throwing it away.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame. So yeah, and the Burl, it's that one that looked like a tree on the inside.
Yeah.
There was a few of them anyway. But that picture was when it was first cut. Now it's basically all gone brown. So fairly boring. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when it all gets turned up, because it's still green as.
Yeah.
So I'll water blast it and then throw it on the pile for 10 years probably. And either I'll get to it eventually, or I'll be dead and gone, and someone else will have it.
Yeah. Thank you. I have to give you my address. Oh, nothing. I'm just mucking around at the moment. I've just got some extra dirt cheap oil that I'm trying out in beeswax mix. So nothing really today. Just I did that was like the leftover disc from something I made yesterday afternoon, and I put the oil on that, but so it hasn't come up too bad. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it on a bit of whitewood and see what it looks like.
So is that a spindle blank mounted sideways, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shh! Don't tell Robbo.
I'm not watching.
Whatever. You said you don't take your eyes off the screen. You fibber.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
I'm waiting for the chisel to catch and it's split in half.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Thanks for the like optimism and stuff. You know?
Rex, if you have a look for Cade on wood turning with Eddie Castellan, the meeting that they have of a Wednesday, Cade did a demonstration on doing bottle stoppers.
If you go to the Woodworking Worldwide Facebook group, you'll find the Zoom meeting links or the videos for that much easier, I think.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find the link. Wait on. Yes, it was recently, last Wednesday or something, and I'll put the link up there for you, Rex.
What is it? Just a hunk of pine.
Looks like it.
Mm. Tear crap out of it.
I just put a notice up on your site.
Yep.
The password and all.
There's a bloke, Jay, in the Adelaide Hills. There's a bloke that does those wing bowls there, up to 4 feet long,
Well, yeah.
about 7 or 8 inches wide.
At the Murray Bridge Club.
No, he belongs to the ones that are up near Mount Lofty there somewhere.
Okay. What size lathe has he got?
I don't know. To be quite honest, I've forgotten.
Got one like Tommy, where it just hangs off like a big bowl one.
Oh, well, possibly could be too.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Get in the way of that propeller.
Oh, yeah.
Be nasty,
Very
right?
deadly.
Yeah. Too big.
The filing cabinet looks very close. Does it get in your way?
No. Sorry, I didn't realise I had it off mute.
It's all right. My ears have recovered now.
What? So you got? Did you say you had plans for that bell, Neil, or not?
Not at this stage. It'll just be thrown on the pile of burls.
Yeah.
So it'll take at least 3 years to dry. I will water blast it because it's still got the bark on it.
Yeah. You gonna seal it or just leave it?
No, I tend to just leave burls.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at the grain when I've blasted it and decide then. I might seal the face grain.
Yeah. Why do you leave it open?
Normally I leave it open because the grain's going in all directions. You don't know which way it's going.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better just to slow down the drying rather than slow it from any direction.
Okay. So you need to dig it up. You need to.
I was going to say, it's only if the grain is nice and tight and everything.
Yeah. So you need to take your burl pile apart, completely remove every single one of them, and then put that stuff at the bottom. Is that what you're saying? So it's away from the.
No, it's got in a nice cool place, but it has to have a breeze so the breeze can get to it.
Oh, so you can't chuck it in the pool then?
Pool's actually a good method of doing it, but you got to be careful with pools, especially mine, which is saltwater pool.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that lives in western Michigan where they got big sand dunes along the lake. And the only time I ever get that, well, now with being able to chat and everything, we talk a couple times a month. But the interesting thing is he takes his wood to dry it because he lives on the sand dunes Michigan National Park or something like that. I forget what they call it. But it's on the western side of the state of Michigan. And he buries his wood in the sand in his yard to dry it.
Oh.
The only problem is he's learned to put big sticks on it. He has a farm that's part of it is sand dunes because he has a sand dune buggy rental program when the parks are open. But his problem is the sand shifts and he has no idea where he's buried stuff because I didn't realize that sand, even though the top looks solid, underneath of it could be 15 foot down, 5 foot down. It's moving.
Yeah, well, sand dunes always move.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought the sand on top of the ground moved. No, the sand underneath, because he's lost a lot of wood.
It's one way of making your timber a lot harder too, because the silica from the sand slowly gets absorbed.
It's not bad for punky wood or to dry that out, I would think. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in 2 years. Yeah, 2 years since we were able to get out and do we have a wood turning show called Turn on Chicago, and then 2 years or the next year it's in about the same driving distance but to the south, and it rotates back and forth between the two as a regional show, and that's where I have met him, in the Chicago one.
Sand dunes are like land waves that you get in the sea. In fact, the Big Red, which is one of our big ones in the Simpson Desert, I read somewhere that it moves quite phenomenally, actually.
Underground? Yep, or just on top? On top, I can see from the wind.
It just moves the whole lot.
What?
The sand dune.
Oh yeah.
Basically, from the predominant winds, you'll get it taken off one side, put on the other side, but the middle is actually rotating at the same time.
It's always steeper on one side than the other.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm going to hit the road again. Sorry, guys.
All right. Run away.
Yeah.
See you later.
Catch
Right.
up.
And I can actually tell you what I'm having for lunch today, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having chicken on a roll.
Oh yeah. Nice. From tea last night.
Yeah.
So this thing down here. This thing down here slipped on me.
Yeah.
The screw came out.
Yeah, I got to screw it back in, but not that. I jarred my wrist doing when it slipped.
Yeah, I've done that too. Even on my Powermatic, the screw sticks out. I think they buy the handles all from the same spot.
Got ice pack on it now. Excruciating. I broke the bone in here, under here, in here a while ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever really healed properly. It's a nasty bone to break, I tell you.
Yeah, and you got some nerves that are right in there. I forget the name of the nerve, but I had to have surgery.
Annoying nerves
on it. Now, about 3 years ago, they went in to here on my hand and actually cleaned out and come through on this side, and you can't really see it, but the stitches are all gone, and it came up, and then they fixed it around the elbow.
Yep.
And had to tunnel around the elbow because that's where the nerves seem to go.
Okay.
And that was from hitting myself on the lathe. Had a piece of wood hit. Didn't break the bone, but it sure upset the nerve.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done something. I've had torn ligaments before, and it's kind of feeling like that, to be honest. I know it's not that, but it's bloody sore at the moment.
You ought to get ice. Well, you got an ice pack on it, it looked like.
Yeah. Yep.
Keep the swelling down.
Yep. Very annoying.
Yeah, but you probably shouldn't do any more turning.
No, I'm not. My lunch will be ready in about 15 minutes anyway. So.
Yeah, it's like a fool. I tried to finish what I was doing, and I found the lathe snapped the tool out of my hand, and it stuck in the wall, and that scared the ever-loving out of me. And I also had to. I didn't buy new underwear. I had enough extra, but I just threw away what I had. I mean, it scared the ever-loving out of me to see it fly that way and just miss me by a few inches and stick in the wall like someone throwing a knife.
You know they make adult diapers, don't you?
The wood turner, you kind of need them, eh? Is that what you're saying?
No comment.
But it would. I mean, it's like being in combat. you don't know you've been hit for a couple of seconds, and then you react quickly.
Yeah.
And it's mostly in reaction to what nerve is hit and whatever. But boy, that got me.
Yeah.
And depending on humidity, this surgery still at times will bother me. So I'll put an ice pack on it.
Yeah. There's another photo up there, Robbo. Oh, stop it. I'm going to turn that bloody thing off. Look at all that wood in the background. I could be turning, piled up there.
Yeah. When you open up is when you need to do a midnight raid.
He lives bloody 400 k's away, Bob.
So
Believe
it'll take you a few midnights.
Yeah.
You reckon he'd tidy up the bloody yard, wouldn't you?
Well, who's going to see it?
You're just jealous, Robbo.
No, I've never shown you around my backyard.
How big is it?
About a quarter of an acre.
Ah,
I thought you did.
We live we're on a half acre. Oh, it's technically a half acre block, but it's nearly 3/4 of an acre because we use the nature strip because we don't have any nature strips here.
So
We treat a bit.
You didn't show me all your stash, eh?
No.
well, he's going to need that big enough room so he can put a series of rooms out there for all the people that want to come and take classes and stay there on site.
No, he says go look at the lathe right at the back of that shipping container in there, and then you get right to the back and the doors close. He goes, I'll be back in a couple of hours, all right?
Keep putting the money in the till to keep the motor going.
You stealing Blair's motto, Robbo?
What?
Just noticed that. Do good turns every day. That's what do good turns daily.
Yeah, no, that's been my motto for 40 odd years. Used to be able to wear my business cards and my t-shirts and everything.
Yep. I better have a word to Blair then.
Oh no.
I don't
Right.
care.
No, we discussed it one day actually. He said, "Oh, that's almost the same as what mine is," and I said, "Yeah."
Well, it's a principle to live by.
Well, being an ex-scout, well, I think I'm still a scout in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Dib.
No, that's cubs.
Come
Oh,
on.
they're not called cubs anymore. I don't know. I've forgotten what they're called now.
Grommets. Little grommets. Nah, no idea.
I had
I
a
was a
search and
scout.
rescue post, explorer post, that I started a long time ago in Alaska, and we did volunteer work on Mount McKinley for a while before the Union, about 4 years, decided that the people who actually are the union that does park rangers, and that decided that we were doing their work for search and rescue. But this is what Explorer Post would do.
Yes.
Be part of the team. We followed their instructions and broke up and had teams and had our own radios and
Yep.
first aid, advanced first aid training, so you could be part of it, and it was nice. They had their own badge that the state made for us to wear.
Yep.
I was a scout.
Many-
I was a scout leader for 5 years, and I was a troop leader for 6.
Did you ever get any wood beads?
Wood beads? No.
Yeah,
No,
that's
our
international scouting gives wood beads if you and there are 7 you can get, but the book says 5, but there were 7 in total because there were 2 international ones, and they were really hard to get.
Go and turn some up on the lathe.
Yeah, make mine.
You could make twaggles.
Woggles.
You could make them out of wood
Yes.
instead of
Yes,
leather.
No, I used to make them out of leather or wood. My whole troop we were very distinctive because we had our own woggles. They all turned their own.
Yep. Yep. Poor bastards.
Oh no. In fact, I was one of the instigators of getting girls into scouts, because we had more girls that wanted to join us than we had boys in the town. So the girls used to come along, which caused a lot of angst amongst the district commissioners and things.
Of course. Men's club.
No, they weren't interested in brownies or girl guides, because that was all female stuff. They wanted to do what the scouts were doing.
Typical.
Oh, country girls, you know, they used to being out and about.
Bloody rat bags, they are. Country girls. See what that looks like.
Very down to earth they are. That's the oh, what a horrible sight. Put a pair of ears on, you'd look like a rabbit. Bugs Bunny.
I need a pair of ears. They're tiny. They're low profile ones.
Haven't quite heard of that term.
Aerodynamics.
Mine are too big.
Do a trade off. Just cut a bit off the top and I'll sew it on. All right. Give me a
You
bit
get
more.
too big, you'll be like Dumbo, and you can
Oh,
fly.
All the
Oh,
people in
God.
one.
Gonna say that, like, that was my nickname at bloody school, state school, Dumbo.
pretty much all 90% of my male relatives have got wing nut ears. They could fly, you know.
That was the other one I used to crop, wing nut.
Yeah.
All right, well, it is lunchtime, so I shall bid
Yeah.
you all goodbye. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming in, all those. I'll see you all later.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Same
Yeah,
to you.
I'll-
Bye.
Take off so you can go eat, Jay, and catch you
Yep.
tomorrow night.
Thank you very much for. Oh, see you, Bob. He's getting good at doing that, isn't he? All right, see you later. See you, Rex. Who else came in? Sid, Effie,